students. I am Rohit, I am computer science lecturer. So now I am going to teach you about second PUC computer science, and in that chapter 4, data structures. So in that chapter, what is data? See, data means it's a collection of real world facts or real facts, statistics, figures, etc. So finally we can say that it is to be processed to get the meaningful information. So data means any data we can have. So it may be image file or images or video or any other data. It may be multimedia data like this. So data plus some identification tag, it provides information. Data plus identification tag. For example, we have some data 11 plus some unit like years, 11 plus some units like years, so that provides information. 12 kg information. So in that way we can say data plus identification tag that provides information. So to get the information, data should be processed. So next one is data it may be a single entity or multiple. So here we can have an example like student information, and here student can have two informations or two fields, register number and name. See, register number we can have only one entity, register number, and name we can have three entities, first name, middle name and last name. Okay, these are about data or different entities. Next, so what do you mean by data structure? So data structure, normally we are using that one to store the information or store the data in memory. So it's also called as, this particular process is also called as data representation. So that's why we can say a data structure is a specialized format for storing and organizing data. It is called as data structure, and it supports us to store the data and manipulate the data using some operators. Okay, next concept is data representation. The process of storing and manipulating data is called data representation. So however, suppose if you want to process some data, the first thing is we should collect the data, and then that should be provided to the system. And here system that performs the operation. Okay, these are about data representation. Storing and manipulating the data is called data representation, and the study of data structure deals with the logical and mathematical description. Next to implementation of structure. Next, calculating the amount of space required. Well, now we start with the classification of data structures. So far we studied about data structure means it's a specialized format for storing and organizing data. And here, data structures, broadly we can classify into two types. So here, first one is primitive data structures, second one, non-primitive data structures. See here, primitive data structures is also called as fundamental data structures or built-in data structures. And here, under primitive data structure, there are four points: integer, float, real, next character and pointer, and sometimes we can use the reference structure, that means addresses, etc. And under non-primitive data structures, arrays, lists and files. So last year we studied about arrays. So under arrays, one-dimensional, two-dimensional and multi-dimensional arrays. Under lists, linear and non-linear. Next one is files. So far, okay, these are about classification of data structures. Sir. Okay, well, under data structures, two types, primitive data structure and non-primitive data structures. Under primitive data structures, see, primitive data structures are directly operated by the machine level instructions. So that means, for example, suppose if you want to give some data to the computer, automatically it will take, like integer requires 2 bytes, floating point requires 4 bytes, and here character require 1 byte and double require 8 bytes. Okay, these are about primitive data structures. So primitive data structures are directly operated by the machine level instructions. So there are some operations possible on primitive data structures. So first one is create. See, suppose if you want to do or perform some operations in computer, so first we need to allocate some memory space to the variable. Here first one is create. Here create, that is to allocate the memory space to the data or to the variable. And here create is the first operation. Here int x and float y. Here int x, that reserves 2 bytes of space to the variable x, and float y, that reserves 4 bytes of space, 4 bytes. The second operation is destroy. So destroy operation, that is to remove the data structure or to delete the data structure. Destroy operation. And third one is select. Select operation is to access the data from the user, that is to access the data. Next, fourth operation is update. See, here update operation, that is to insert or increment operation or to decrement operation to be performed. And here int x, later we can change the value of x equal to 50. So that's why we can say update operation is used to change the data or data structure. Sir. Second data structure is non-primitive data structures. So non-primitive data structures are complex data structures, and these data structures are derived from primitive data structures. Example to non-primitive data structure is arrays, lists and files. So under non-primitive data structures, it may use homogeneous or heterogeneous elements. Homogeneous elements means elements of same type. Heterogeneous elements means elements of different types. Okay, so non-primitive data structures are complex in nature or complex data structures and derived from primitive data structures. So data structures under lists are two types: linear data structures and non-linear data structures. So first one is linear data structures. Linear data structures are each element is connected to each other. That means relationship between elements, that means each element, that means one element that is connected to another. In that way it establishes the relationship. And here it includes homogeneous elements, and under second one non-linear data structures. See, under non-linear data structure, that means one element is connected to many other elements. One element is connected to many other elements, and example to non-linear data structure is trees, graphs, etc. Okay, linear data structure. So under list there are two types of data structures: linear data structure and non-linear data structure. So under linear data structure, normally it uses arrays, that means collection of homogeneous elements. Normally it uses index values. Index values, that is to locate the element's location or its position. So in this linear data structure there are many operations. So here under linear data structure, first one is traversal. Traversal means visiting all the elements or visiting all the nodes exactly once. Exactly once. That means going through all the elements or passing through all the elements is called as traversal. Traversal. And in C++, you can use for statement and cin function to read all the elements of an array. All the elements of an array. So that is one of the traversal operation. To read or to display, we need for statement and cin function, that is to read, for statement and cout function, that is for display. So these are about traversal. Traversal means visiting all the nodes exactly once to perform some operation, or accessing all the elements to perform some operation exactly once. It is called as traversal. Second one is insertion. Insertion means inserting a new data item into the list or into the array. It is called as insertion operation. Insertion means during this operation it will be incremented by 1 or number of elements that you are going to insert it, that will be counted, right? Next one is deletion. Deletion means that is to that operation is to perform or delete an element from the given list or from the array. Right? Next one is searching. Searching means it's the process of finding the location of an element in a list. Searching is the process of finding the location of an element in a list. It is called as searching. And the next operation is sorting. Sorting means is another process. Actually, to perform sorting operation, we need efficient algorithm. That is to get the good execution time and access time and space complexity also. So sorting means arranging array elements either in ascending order or in descending order. So it is called as sorting. Next, last operation is merging. Merging means, for example, we have two structures. So merging operation means combining the elements of two structures to form a single structure. It is called as merging. Okay, these are about operations on linear data structure. So linear data structure and non-linear data structure. So under linear data structure, example to linear data structure is arrays. So last year you studied about this one, arrays. Array means it's a collection of elements. It uses the same name and same type, or unique name and same type. So we can say it's a collection of homogeneous elements. So for example, you can take this one, int a of 5. See here, int a of 5 means total 5 elements, and here index value starting from 0 to n minus 1. N minus 1 means, n means total number of elements, that is 5. 5 minus 1, that is 4. So index value starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here index value starting from 0, that means any array concept, it starts with index value 0 or position value 0. It is called as zero based indexing, that you studied in last year's syllabus. So next, types of arrays. There are three types of arrays: one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. And this year we have to study about one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array means it's a collection of elements that shares same name, same type, but structured in one dimension. Structured in one dimension means here we have to specify only one index value. Here also, actually this example, this is based on one dimensional array. Here a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, a of 4. So total 5 elements. A of 0 equal to 11. Actually a of 11 means its value. Here a of 0 means index value. A of 1 and its value is 9. Okay, these are about one dimensional array, and here also one dimensional array, it uses contiguous memory locations. Contiguous memory locations, and here 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. index value, that is to specify the position or its location. Second one is two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array is a collection of elements that shares same name, or we can say unique name, and same type, but structured in two dimension. Structured in two dimension means it uses matrix values, number of rows and number of columns. One dimensional array can be declared like this, and its syntax is data type, array name and size. Data type, space, data type may be any data type, built-in data type, derived data type, user-defined data type, and next array name. Array name is optional, it may be variable name also, and its size. Size indicates total number of elements. In the same manner, we can initialize the one-dimensional array, and here to initialize one-dimensional array, data type, array name, size equal to open flower parenthesis, next list of elements, close flower parenthesis, then we have to specify the semicolon. Okay, these are about data type, that means one-dimensional array declaration. Index value should be, to specify, index value should be non-negative, that means index value should be non-negative and index value should be integer only. Okay, these are about one-dimensional array. Next concept is calculating the length of one-dimensional array. And here, for example, we have an array A of some elements, and here we can calculate length of array by using this formula L equal to UB minus LB plus 1. Here UB means highest index value, or we can say upper bound. LB means lowest index value or lower bound. So UB minus LB plus 1. Okay, these are about calculating the length of array. And we can take an example for this one. For example, we have an array A of elements 11, 33, 22, 44, 77 and 55. And we can represent that one by using this diagram. And here index value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we can calculate L. L equal to UB upper bound or highest index value 5 minus LB means lower index value minus 0 plus 1. UB minus LB plus 1. So that is length. So length equal to 5 minus 0, 5 itself plus 1. So total 6. Okay, these are about calculating the length of one-dimensional array. Now I am going to explain about representation of one-dimensional array in memory. See, one-dimensional array means that we know it uses only one index value, and here I am going to explain this in A of 5, integer data type, array A of 5 elements. Here elements are 10, 11, 20, 12, 16, 18 and index values are, you can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are index values and its values are 10, 11, 12, 16, 18. And here address of the first element is it is 1000. Address of the first element is 1000. So what will be the address of the second element? Actually, we know array means linear data structure. That means it uses consecutive memory locations. That means elements are arranged one by one element after another like this. And here address of the next element is not 1001, not 1001. Instead of 1001, it is 1002. It's because we are using integer data type. Under integer data type, we need 2 bytes of space to store each and every element. Integer variable requires 2 bytes of space to store its elements. So address of the first element is 1000 and address of the second element is 1002 and address of the third element is 1004. Address of the fourth one is 1006. That means each element it requires 2 bytes of space and the address of the last element is 1008. Okay, these are about memory representation of one-dimensional array. And actually we are using only 5 elements. In case if you are going to search the location of a particular element, if you are having more than 1000 elements, then we need some formula to calculate. And to calculate location of an element or address of an element, we need this particular formula. Location of A of I, location of A of I equal to BA means base address plus W into I minus LB. So to calculate address of one-dimensional array, this particular location of A of I equal to base address plus W into I minus LB. Here BA means base address. Base address means address of the first element and W means size of data type. Here size may be integer data type, character data type, double data type or any other data type. It may be what derived data type also. Using structure also you can define our own data types and by using that we can specify the size of data type. And next one is I. I is the location of the element. Which element that is to locate, that will be specified. We should specify by using this. Next LB. LB means lower index value. LB means lower index value. Okay, these are about representing one-dimensional array in memory. Next one problem to solve. Here problem is consider an array A of 20 elements and address of the first element is 1040. So what will be the address of A of 17? So what will be the address of A of 17? And here formula is location of A of I equal to base address plus W I minus LB. I means index value minus LB. So we have to calculate location of A of 17 equal to base address. Base address means address of the first element 1040 plus W means width. However, we are using integer array. Integer array means 2. Its size equal to 2. W means size of data type or width. I minus LB. I means location of element. 17 minus LB. LB means lower bound. Lower bound means lowest index value. So that is 0. So that's equal to 1040 plus 2 into 17. So that is equal to 1040 plus 34. So answer is 1074 is the answer. It's the location. 1074 is the location. Next, basic operations on one-dimensional array. So, basic operations on one-dimensional array almost similar to the basic operations on linear data structure that we already studied that one in just few minutes back. And here, first one is traversal. Traversal means visiting all the elements exactly once or passing through all the elements exactly once. Second one is inserting. Inserting means inserting an element or new element to the list or group of elements or to an array. Next, deleting. Deleting means removing an element, already existing element from the array. Next point is searching. So actually in our syllabus there are two types of searching methods. Searching means finding the location of an element in a list. Next point is sorting. Sorting means arranging array elements either in ascending order or in descending order. Okay, these are about sorting. And last one is merging. Merging means combining elements of two different arrays to form a single. It is called as merging. Okay, these are all operations on one-dimensional array. Okay, next one is, first we have to take this one, traversing. Actually, traversing can be done in one-dimensional array. Actually, traversing means visiting all the nodes or all the elements exactly once. So normally we need for statement to select all the elements. And here I am using for statement for I equal to, I means that is to specify the index value in any one-dimensional array. We are using index value I LB to I equal to LB to UB. LB means lower bounding or lower bound or lower index value. UB means upper index value. Okay, these are about for statement. So we need for statement for I equal to LB to UB, lower bound to upper bound, and process A of I. Process means it may be input process or it may be output process. Okay, for I equal to LB to UB, process A of I and end for. Okay, these are about algorithm for traversal. So traversal means just we have to touch with all the elements. To display all the elements, to take touch with all the elements, we need for statement. Okay. Next one is write a program to read and display one-dimensional array. Actually, this program that shows clearly how traversing operation that we can done by using one-dimensional array. See here, hash include iostream.h, main function, int a of 15, I and n. And here, so last week we studied about this one. So what is the purpose of I and what is the purpose of n? I is to specify the index value and n is to specify the total number of elements that we are using. See here, cout enter n. That means we have to specify the number of elements in that array. See, actually we know that a of 15. That means a of 15 means we can allocate total 15 elements. N means maximum number of elements that we can allocate here. So maximum elements means maximum 15 elements that we can accommodate. More than 15 elements is not possible. So enter n, C in n. Next, cout enter elements, and here for I equal 0, I less than n, I plus plus, C in A of I. Actually, these two statements, that is to represent the traversal. That means here we are implying or implementing traversal method for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, c in a of I. So these two statements, that is to read one-dimensional array. So one-dimensional array using traversal, these two statements for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, c in a of I. Next, again we are going to display, see out the elements are for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, see out a of I. So here also two statements that represents the traversal. Traversal for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, see out a of I. So two statements, here for statement and see in, here for statement and see out. So these two segments, program segments that represents traversal. Next, operations on linear data structure or one-dimensional array is searching an element. There are two types of searching methods in our syllabus, that means in second year syllabus, linear search and binary search. So what do you mean by linear search? Linear search means searching involves starting from the 0th element to n minus 1 element, or if search key is equal to the particular location, if it is available in that particular location, then searching process that will stop. Okay, these are about linear search. Linear search is also called as sequential search. Linear search is also called as sequential search, and here searching involves starting from 0th element to n minus 1 element. So linear search 0th element to n minus 1 element. So what are the advantages in linear search? See, linear search, it is applicable to both sorted list and unsorted list. It is applicable to both because we are starting from 0th element to n element. That means we are going to search an element. For example, ELE is the search key. Search key means element to be searched. So we are going to compare ELE with element location 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n minus 1. So that means we are going to compare each element with the search key in that way. Okay. So these are about advantages of linear search. It is applicable to both sorted and unsorted list. So what is the disadvantage of linear search? So disadvantage of linear search is it is time consuming. Disadvantage of linear search is time consuming. Next we'll go to this one, algorithm for linear search. Whenever we are going to discuss about algorithm for linear search, first thing is algorithm name is essential. Algorithm and its name is linear search array A and number of elements n. Capital A, capital N. You can use any other variable also, not a problem. So algorithm linear search array A of n elements, and after this particular heading, that means algorithm name, we have to specify all the variables. So what are the variables we are using in our algorithm? So A means capital A or array A of n elements. N means capital N means number of elements, and ELE is the search key. ELE means search key. That means that is to be searched. Next, step 1. So each and every step that should be specified properly like this. Step 1 and location equal to -1. So whenever we are going to specify the location, actually LOC or location, that is to hold the location of the search key. If it is available in that list, then we have to specify LOC equal to something or that location. But initially we are taking LOC equal to -1. LOC equal to -1, that means we are going to initialize that particular value. So purpose is actually whenever we are going to initialize any variable, we are starting with 0. Actually 0th location in array it is there. So that's why to avoid that one we are using location equal to -1. So location equal to -1, and second step is for I equal to 0 to n minus 1. For I equal to 0 to n minus 1, you are starting from 0 to n minus 1. So that means traversal. That means we are going to visit all the elements. That's why we are using index value 0 to n minus 1. 0 to n minus 1. And third step, if A of I equal to ELE. A of I equal to ELE means if any value I is starting from 0 to n minus 1. In any case, if that particular element is equal to the search key. If that particular element is equal to the search key, then what we have to do? If this condition is true, so automatically location equal to I. That means location will be assigned with the value of I. That means automatically we have to specify that one. That means index values will be assigned to that particular location. Here goes. Next step is go to step number 4. Go to step number 4. So that means immediately in C++ or any other programming language, we can use break statement. Break statement, that is to come out of the loop. So break statement, that will terminate this particular control, and here that will jump to here. And if L is greater than or equal to 0, again element is found, else element is not found. Okay, these are about traversal, linear search array A of n elements. Okay. So, some questions regarding to this particular concept and what we studied today. So, first one is some questions. What is data structures? See, data structure is a specialized format for organizing and storing data. Next question is differentiate between one-dimensional array and two-dimensional array. So, one-dimensional array is a collection of elements that share same name, same type, but structured in one dimension. Two-dimensional array means it's a collection of elements that uses the same name or unique name and same type, but structured in two dimensions. In one-dimensional array, location of an element can be specified by using the single index value, but in this case, in two-dimensional array, by specifying the row number and column number or two index values, we can specify the location of that particular element in a matrix, a two-dimensional array or a table like this. Next, example to non-primitive data structure. So, non-primitive data structure means it's a complex data structure, and non-primitive data structures are derived from primitive data structures. And example to non-primitive data structure is linear and non-linear, and again we can say arrays, files, lists, etc. What are primitive data structures? Primitive data structures are directly operated by the machine level instructions. They are data structures directly operated by the machine level instructions. These are called primitive data structures. And example to this one is primitive data structure is int, float, character, double, etc. Pointers, references, etc. Next, what is an array? An array is a collection of elements or collection of homogeneous elements. It may use some index values, that is to specify the subscript, its size. Next, mention the various operations performed on arrays. So, operations mentioned under arrays are traversal, searching, sorting, deletion, insertion, and last one is merging. Okay, these are about one-dimensional array.